My dad said he wishes he had a son rather than a daughter. I am not the oop. Oop is you, Ayakashado. Thanks to you, Direct Caterpillar 77, for suggesting this to BoRU. My dad said he wishes he had a son rather than a daughter. Originally posted to r, off my chest. Trigger warning. Child neglect. Less than. Original post August 29, 2023. I apologize in advance for my bad grammar or spelling. I'm writing this quickly and on a phone. I, 17F, am not very close with my father. 41 meters. Due to him not wanting to spend much time with me. When I was little, me and my mom, 39F, did lots of fun activities together and she always played with me and entertained me, resulting in us having a good relationship now years later. But whenever I'd try to get my dad to play with me or watch something with me, he'd be uninterested and tell me to go play with my mom. This happened practically every day, with me wanting to watch him work on his car or ask him to play. But he always pushed me off, and as I grew up, I believed that my dad just didn't like me, so I asked him to play or teach me stuff less and less. He would only do stuff with me on my birthday and holidays, though he always made sure I was fed. When I was hungry and if I was upset, he'd comfort me, but other than that he would avoid me. Now to today. I was in the kitchen getting a snack and my dad was outside in the backyard on the phone with one of his friends. I could hear what he was talking about from the open kitchen window, but I was ignoring it until he said my name in their conversation. I listened in more and heard him telling his friend that he wishes he had a son more than a daughter because he never wanted a girl and didn't try to build much of a relationship with me because of it, and said he had tried to get my mom to have a second kid to see if he could get a son. But my mom didn't want 2 children at the time, so he just ignored me when I was able to walk and talk so he could focus on other things and let my mom raise me. I went to my room after hearing this and am writing this now. I want to tell my mom because how hurt I feel, but I also don't want to cause an argument between them since they are really close. Does anyone have a few suggestions on what I should do? Should I ask him about it or just tell my mom? Update 1, August 29, 2023. 8 hours later. Hi everyone. I have a short update for my situation from my last post. I firstly want to say how grateful and heartwarming seeing your comments were, and your kind words really helped, along with the few people who messaged me asking if I needed someone to talk to. I really love you all. On to the update. My mom got home from work and I waited until she wasn't busy to talk to her. I asked her to come with me to my room, and once we both were in there with the door closed, I told her what I overheard and how I felt. Not just about his hurtful words, but also how I've felt my whole life with how he treated me like I'm a stranger. My mom was quiet as I talked, and once I finished she hugged me and told me how she's really sorry, and hugged me while telling me how I'm the best thing to ever happen to her and that it didn't matter that I'm a girl because she'd love me either way, and that's how parents should be, and she'd always be there for me. After a bit she went to confront my dad, who just admitted it. They got into an argument from it, which ended with him going to stay at my grandma's house for a bit. I'll add another update if anything new comes up. Edit. I forgot to mention, but my mom also told me how she's been doing her best to fill both roles of my mom and dad since my dad wasn't. Update 2, September 3rd, 2023. 5 days later. Wow. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my last 2 posts. I've been given lots of advice and support, which I really want to say thank you for. You have no idea how much it means to me. On to the update. My dad came home last night and my mom was hesitant to let him into the house, but he said he needed to talk, so she let him in. Me and my mom sat in the living room and he started apologizing for what had happened and was telling my mom and me that he regretted what he said and would step up to be a better father to me. And to make things right, my mom told him that what he did was not acceptable in any way and that it's not a matter where apologizing will fix it. I then asked how exactly did he plan to make up ignoring me my whole childhood and not being a dad to me, and how I'm turning 18 in a couple months and then I'll be an adult and won't be a child anymore. I then said that ignoring me all my childhood and pushing me away because of what's between my legs was a horrible thing and I don't forgive him. He started apologizing more and had some tears in his eyes, which sort of surprised me, but my mom asked me to head to my room, so I did, and I could hear my mom saying stuff and then my dad leave the house again. She came into my room after and told me that she would be not allowing him in our home anymore and gave me a hug before telling me that she texted his mom the night he left for a few days about what happened, and apparently my grandma tore into him about it and kicked him out, so he had to stay at one of his friend's house. Reminder: I am not the original poster. He seems like the kind of tool that would purposefully ignore his daughter all her life but get deeply offended if he wasn't allowed to walk her down the aisle at her wedding. There is no making up for ignoring your child their entire childhood. I feel like this man would have been horrible and neglectful even if he had a son. It would be more about his ego and passing on his interests and ideals, his son being an extension of himself rather than his own individual, while still leaving the actual childcare to his wife. Notice how he had to run away to his mama's house. Sad, sad little man. So, it was only a problem for the mom when he admitted it out loud and the kid heard? Not when it was happening in front of her for 17 years? It's one thing to feel a relationship is off. It's a whole other thing to explicitly hear why. Ouch. Poor Oop. Hope she gets a good therapist. He definitely only came back and apologized because he had nowhere to stay. What an absolute asshole. He doesn't get a son, and so his response is to ignore his child for 18 years? It's not even like his apology was genuine. He probably just felt the pressure closing in and realized everyone was going to think he's a dick. You can't just roll in after ignoring someone for almost 2 decades and expect to be a part of their life. Maybe tell him you wish you had a real dad instead of a sexist jerk. When I was in college, my dad told me I was the son he always wished for but never had. I'm a daughter. Fortunately, my father always treated me like a kid he always wanted, even though I was the oops baby of 7 kids. Way better than ignoring me because of my genitals. Gender disappointment. Then he wanted to cry about the fact his wife don't want no more kids. Pitiful. I wish I'd had a boy. I imagine she wishes she had 2 of her mom. Her mom seems great. I can't believe no one noticed it or did anything about it for 17 years. Poor child. After I had our second daughter, I asked their father if he needed a son. He did not. Those now women are badass. They learned how to hike mountains, fix cars, do home repairs, hunt, fish, and take care of themselves. I am not married to him anymore, but I am forever grateful that he accepted his kids as they were. My dad was like this. Not so much because I was AFAB, although that did come into play more when I got into my teenage years. But mostly because I think he'd never actually wanted kids. I don't think he actively did not want kids. More like he was neutral about it and had us because that's just what people did. I spent most of my time during visits at his house reading in my room or outside practicing sports by myself. I have never gone to him for any sort of emotional support, even as a small child. At one point he seemed to resent that I don't have a strong sense of family or seek him out much as an adult. But now I think he likes it. I don't dislike my dad. But child me definitely deserved a more interested, warm, and caring dad than the one I got. I know a lot of people are giving the mom a hard time. But she's way better than mine, who just made excuses for my sperm donor. So once again, we have a variation on a theme. He started apologizing for what happened and was telling my mom and me that he regretted what he said. Translation: he regretted what he said because he doesn't like the consequences. Fuck yeah, grandma. He only said he was going to do better because he was thrown out by his own mother. This man is trash. My mother once told me, if you want me to treat you as good as I treat my son, you better grow a dick.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.